Hey there, it's Amy. I know you're all wondering how to shape a tree. Number one thing, get a big bottle of wine. Number two thing, get some gloves so it doesn't look like a cat attacked your arms. Long sleeves are good, or if you have them, opera gloves are better. We always start by putting our tree in the stand with the bottom section in first. I'm actually going to show you this with the section bundled up with a bungee cord here, number two. Number one is in the stand. We even sell rolling stands for the extra convenience of being able to move it around and then clean up the floor afterwards. Works really slick. This tree is straight out of the box. I always start by telling people to drop the branches open, make sure they have fallen open completely and they're not kind of held up on their hinges. Brand new trees are always a little stiff and they need to be worked with a bit. Then we're going to make sure that you work from the inside or from the bottom up when you're shaping, so it doesn't make sense to assemble your whole tree and then try to stick your head in there and shape it when you're really fighting with the tree itself. So I start at the bottom. I shape all of the tips out and back. Now, most of the time, I'm going to inspect a tree and see how well it's shaped and find that the tips have just been shaped. Somebody will just kind of come along here and we do these ends and then bam, we're done. But what you really want to do is start at the back of each branch and you're going to lift every piece. That is why I say a full bottle of wine. It takes a long time to get through a whole tree, especially if it's a 9-foot one, and it's always more fun with a friend. When you pull each tip up and back, you're going to be able to ensure that you have maximized the fill between each branch level. The other little tip for shaping is to pull the branches not only up and back, but give them a little bit of a curve as you're doing it. So instead of straight branches, we kind of are creating almost like a C-curve effect, and we're pulling the branches up and back and tipping them in towards the outside of the tip of the tree. By curving them a little bit, it somehow also just increases the look of fullness, and you get this magical, softer look to a tree instead of like harsh, straight out of a box. So those are some of the tips that I'm using as we're shaping here and training our customers and staff in person. This type of tree branch has extra at the ends. If you can see here, there's 3 different components at the end that can be shaped and moved around. So I've never really thought it helps to shape anything down. We always want to shape out to the sides, and these 3 tips on this Telluride tree make the ends look really nice and full, and it also has a natural tip. So the look of this tree is a plastic tip, which is injection mold of a real one, and the back branches are PVC, creating a less expensive type of tree, but equally full. And these quality trees are wrapped all the way up each branch to the pole. They're bound up with cording, so that the cording is going to ensure that all of the tips stay in place and you don't have any problem with tips coming out or pulling out of the wiring. Let me plug this top tree section in here quick. Each tree is 7.5 foot size. It's going to come in 3 parts. We'll have a top, a middle, and a base. The base plugs into the wall and has a step switch so you can turn it on easily. The middle plugs into the bottom, and the top of the tree will plug into the middle section in an area marked, please plug in here. Pretty easy. So when we do see these bundles of light sets inside the tree, these are not meant to be unwrapped. That bundle of cords are all the ends of all the light sets on this tree. This one's an LED, so you're going to have a really long life for these light bulbs. They do come with replacement bulbs, but really don't need to get changed very often. I haven't changed any of our store display trees for 3 years. So the LED bulb life is much greater than that of an incandescent bulb. So again, when you're shaping, we're moving each tip up and back. We're softening the straightness of it by giving it a little bit of a curve, and that's going to lift everything off of the surface of the branch, and it will naturally fill in the spaces between branches by shaping out and up. You really don't need to pull anything down at all. Working through your whole tree, you're going to get all the way up to the top, put that little topper on, and you'll be good to go. But like I said, take your time. It's definitely worth it, and you're going to want to make sure that a well-shaped tree will give you your best finished result.